This is the first time that people will see us at the studio. Episode 45. Golf. Let me do this real quick. Why the hell do I have my OU mask and all that
the Delta
on?
variant.
No, we can talk about the Delta variant. So
I was just seeing it on the news this morning.
So episode 45 of the Golf Performance Group podcast. You have your host here, Lebronald Palmer.
And JJ Wood.
And we have a special guest. We've got him in the hot seat today. He was really in the hot seat about 2 weeks ago, playing at our nation's championship, the U.S. Open. Let's welcome, and how do I pronounce your last name?
Carmona.
Mario Carmona. By way of JJ, do you want to give an official introduction? Because you've known this young man for a while.
I've known you probably since high school.
Okay.
And I've obviously I remember you and stuff, but you came to one of our varsity events, maybe the recruiting combine, or maybe you came out to Pecan Grove and we played, and then and then I got the assistant coaching job at Rice, and I was big on Mario, and then I ended up leaving Rice, but Justin was lucky enough to get him, so he can talk about that experience. And he's a great guy to talk about golf because. I mean, I know you had people help you here and there. I think the Pro Memorial, but you're pretty much a homemade golf swing, and I like those types of players. And that's when I would talk to coaches about you, like when you're in high school, I was like, he's a gamer. I know it doesn't look textbook, but some of the stuff he does has turned out to be genius, because that was probably 2014, 13?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he has that it factor that knows how to play golf. And there's a fine line, between he knows what he does, it seems like, because he's made it to a U.S. Open, a U.S. Amateur, good college player. But I'm excited to see kind of what he thinks about when he plays or when he practices, because it's not the traditional swing mechanics and all that, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So welcome to the podcast, Mario. So tell people a little bit about yourself before we get into the interview, your golf journey, and then we'll do it at the front and the end, where people can find you, your social media, all that good stuff.
All right, cool. Yeah. So thanks for having me. First of all, excited to share a little bit on myself and kind of what I've been going through. But yeah, in terms of golf, I moved here to Houston and when I was 12 years old. So I guess that's 13 years now. It's hard to believe, but I got here and I played junior golf events like Houston Golf Association and the Legends Tour tournaments, and eventually a couple HAGAs here and there. And then we had a lot of stuff when I was younger. It was a little unknown, just kind of coming here. Meeting guys like JJ and just learning about I didn't even really know about college golf. Like I just can I keep playing? I thought it was just kind of for fun. I like competing. I like that aspect of just getting better every day. So at that time I was like, I could keep playing and get an education out of it. Like this sounds awesome. So the whole recruiting process, I started looking at different schools, mostly around here. And, Rice was kind of a good fit for me just because I really wanted to get a good degree and at the same time, like I said, kind of keep playing. So that's kind of what Rice offered. And I can stay in Houston. My family's still here. My sister went to A&M, so I could stay close with family and stuff. So it ended up being a good fit for me. And just being there, it was it was awesome. All the resources that college golf provides and just to get you better and exposure to events, playing some top level college tournaments and golf courses. And I guess we'll dive more in that later, but
definitely.
Then when I graduated, I went on the Latin America tour in 2019. At the time I was like, do I want to get a job or do I want to keep playing? And I decided to keep playing. So I went on the Latin America tour in 2019. It was the first year playing pro golf, a lot of adjustments, kind of traveling. You're on your own, practice schedules. It was a very good learning experience going down to all those different countries in Latin America, which was really cool. Mitchell was a former teammate of mine. He was down there too, so we traveled a lot together. So that was a good time. And then last year, obviously, the world kind of decided to do tricky stuff. So
tricky stuff is a good way to put it.
That's a great way.
So there was a period of pretty much 3-4 months where there was just nothing to really do. So Thankfully here, things kind of started opening up around July. So I played a couple of Monday qualifiers, mini tour events, stuff like that. But it's just hard playing with no real, I guess, set schedule. And then starting this year, I just kind of did the same thing, rolled a few Mondays. Those things are just so hard.
It's like what I always say. It's like winning the lottery. When if you get a late tee time and 63 is a playoff already. I remember last Monday at Houston I played, and I was like, I've shot 63 at my home course a couple times, but 64 is my lowest tournament score. So what are the chances?
Exactly. And I was playing good. Like I would shoot 3-4 under par. Solid golf, but it's just not good enough. And thankfully, this last couple of weeks, things lined up, and I was able to play in the U.S. Open.
Nice. So let's get right into the U.S. Open then. I think that's probably the best place to start since it's most relevant now.
Yeah.
Now, you were there for the practice rounds. Practice rounds out here at the U.S. Open are just really where the tacticians really go out and know the course. Did you feel lost, or did you feel like, okay, I can figure this out?
Yeah, so I think what helped is I played in a couple U.S. AMs. I played in the Latin American Amateur, which are big amateur events.
Okay.
Obviously, it's not a major championship, but I wasn't like super shocked right when I get there, which was good, just getting that experience. So that was a good thing. And then in terms of course, my caddy actually grew up playing Torrey Pines.
Okay, that helps. That helps.
I think he won the club championship when he was like, I don't know, like 20 or something like that. So he kind of knew the course. He loved the area. He grew up there till he went to college golf at USD. So his parents lived 3-4 minutes from the course. So it was we had some good vibes going. He knew the course. So it helped a little bit, mostly kind of where to miss and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And if you've been to Torrey Pines, it's pretty straightforward. Like it's just driver every hole. You just got to hit good quality shots. So.
But that rough though at the Open is where the problem comes into play.
Did they say what the rough length was this year?
It was high. But I don't know.
Did they have spotters
like
on
if
each
you
side?
were
That's
what I was going. So if you were to stand into the rough, I mean, you're a tall guy. Where would it end up being?
It was above, probably
above the ankle.
It was probably 3-4 inches.
Oh my gosh!
Whenever you have spotters on the right and left side of every hole, the rough's there.
Lost ball for me immediately. I'm not even gonna look at it.
The only times I've had is the U.S. Amateur and the PGA Championship. Yeah. It was like, so you do not want to hit in there.
Well, the funny thing was I got there Sunday around midday. And I was like, I got to get on the course. I'm kind of anxious. I just want to see it. So I went and played 9 holes. And first hole, I hit it like, I don't know, 10 yards left. And we never found my
lost ball.
And I was like, no spotters. Welcome to the U.S. Open. So that was kind of, the rough was thick. But it was funny because if you miss kind of big where people are walking, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, there were spots where it was like, and mostly it's the type of grass, really.
The Kikuyu, it's sticky. It's So
that grass, okay, so this is, I'm asking both of y'all. Again, I'm the amateur, terrible player on the pod. Does the grass really make a difference? The type of grass?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I mean, I can't explain it like Phil or anything, but I just know the feel of it. And then that's where I tell people hit a lot of pitches around the greens out of the rough because it's going to react differently, like a Bermuda versus a Kikuyu. That Kikuyu stuff's like, what are those things? Those like ice plants or something? It just feels like your club's gonna stick in it.
Wow. Okay.
It's way different. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially when the hole's 500 yards, you miss the fairway by 3 yards, and you have 220 yards to the green, and you got this Kikuyu rough, and it's just like you just chipping out at that point.
Yeah.
So JJ, I know you had a few questions also, but I wanted to get this one too. Were you starstruck in any way? Like were there like, okay, these are people that, now I know you said that you didn't necessarily follow golf as a kid, but as you got to college, I'm sure like now, so were you starstruck in any way?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Like I was thankful enough to play a practice round with Brooks.
Okay.
Nice.
Had the knee hold up during the round.
Okay, so I'm curious because I played a group behind him, DJ, and Jordan Spieth in a practice round. I ran to the tee when I saw them, and then no one wants to play with me, obviously. So I was seeing where they would hit their tee shots and I'd find their divots.
Yeah.
And were you as long or longer than Brooks Koepka?
He was longer.
Really?
Yeah, like 10, 15 yards. Yeah.
Okay, I would think you'd be about as long as him.
Yeah. I mean, I consider myself mid-ish long, not super long. But
Yeah, you're not a
I'm not
Bryson.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But no one's a Bryson.
He's
right?
above. He's
Bryson,
above
Finau.
average college player.
Where would you put your you've got the Bryson, Finau, Cam Champ group. Then after that, you've got kind of
Dustin, Rory,
Brooks.
No, I think Brooks is a hair below. Dustin hits it.
Yeah,
it hits it 10-15 by Brooks. So is Rory.
So then you would say you're the group after that. Then
no, I would say he must have been in it hard. You must have been.
What was it? Well, could have been nerves. Could it have been nerves?
I mean, a little bit. No, Brooks.
Did you ever catch one like go out?
Yeah.
Like when I played with Ryan Fox, who's the longest hitter in Europe, and he was a cool guy, calm the nerves, but on number 8 I missed a short putt for birdie, and so number 9 he like made a joke about it. And I was like, I'm so pissed off. I'm going to blow it like 20 by you. So he's like, give me your best shot. And I was like, and I went, because I had adrenaline, there was fans around, I was pissed, and I swung out of my shoes. And we measured it, and it was like 345.
Whoa.
He was 370.
Whoa.
And I was like, man, that is all I got. I was like, you are the man. Like, that's it.
So practice round with Brooks. Were there any other guys that you were like, man, I can't believe that I'm at the U.S. Open with this person?
Yeah, it was actually funny. I was on the range. I think it was Wednesday midday, and there was a point where it was like Dustin Johnson, Henry Stenson, Adam Scott, me,
all major winners.
And Cameron Smith and like Jordan hitting balls, and I'm just in the middle right there, like
wow.
So how did you feel like cool. you fit in when you were around them? Were you trying to be like, I'm one of them kind of thing, like not being starstruck, not asking for autographs? Yeah. Or were you, asking for pictures? And
no, I mean, I wanted to play well. Like I was kind of doing my thing. I did notice kind of they're kind of on their own little bubble or world. There's not that much camaraderie as someone would think, like behind the scenes. So everyone's kind of there, like on a business minded. Kind of, I'm here to.
It's a major. I mean, it's a major champion.
I think it was Peter Uihlein because he went to Europe first, so did Brooks. But I heard an interview from Uihlein saying European tour is so much more fun because there's all that camaraderie, and they like take buses sometimes. Yeah. Everyone has their own private jet here. And it's probably why their Ryder Cup team, they're better.
But if you think about the culture, and I won't say North America, because I would say Mexico is different, but the American culture is definitely individualistic.
Yeah,
like we are. Yeah, you are going after yours. Where
we're competing against everybody,
even yourself sometimes. That's our issue. Where other countries, they're more familial. It's more our group is greater than the individual. Where I would definitely say in America, you go out and get the shit on your own. Like that's what they want you to do. Yeah. So
and then you play college golf and they tell you we're a team.
We're a team. Exactly.
But I need to work on my putting. I don't need to go to this stupid.
Exactly. That's one of the differences that I've seen, and of course we'll have episodes leading up to the Ryder Cup and all of those things. I'm just interested to see how that team's gonna gel. Brooks hates Bryson. Then you got guys like Webb Simpson. Who else will probably be on the team? Phil will probably make the team now. Morikawa,
Scotty Scheffler.
Maybe. Like none of those guys really talk. Like if you think about it, they are all.
I think the younger guys, they're a little more camaraderie, like because there was a knock on Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, and Ricky. They're too buddy. They don't care.
Spieth hates Patrick Reed. I mean,
why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
But what I'm saying is there's all these different
things. Patrick Reed is like just always going to be that guy.
But he's gonna make the team.
But you got to put him with like that Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth. The perception I have, they're just a nice guy that'll put up with it and let him be Mr.
But
America.
Putting up with it is one thing. There's some pure disdain with some of the guys that are going to be on the team.
Well, yeah, and I think Brooks and Bryson, I think they truly probably don't like each other or don't prefer to be with each other. Yeah. But, with that new PGA Tour social media influence bonus, if they're, they should probably hire you maybe to do their marketing.
They should. I mean, come talk to me.
If they did some like – wrestling competition, arm wrestling at least, like just get some video, dude, viral. They're gonna win that social media contest.
The last thing,
who would, even if you're not a golf fan, you want to see it, golfers.
The last thing they don't be like,
arm wrestle. No. And then they'll bring more fans to golf because they'll think we're athletes.
Back to Mario. Okay. All right. So, JJ, I know you had a few things you want to jump into, maybe from his start as an amateur going to now your professional career. So I'll turn it over to you for some of those.
Yeah. So you're from Juarez, correct? So did you play much golf before you got here at the age of 12?
Yeah, a little bit. I did typical Mexican things: soccer, basketball, baseball growing up. And then when my grandpa retired, he kind of really got into golf. And my dad would play pretty much every Saturday at the club there. And then I was like, oh, I want to be with my family. So I went out there and I loved it. So I kind of fell in love with it. I only played for like a couple years before moving here.
Yeah.
But when I got here, like I said, all the opportunities you have here, and then it's really when it kind of jumps.
Exactly. That makes sense.
Was there some like affordable opportunities there to play golf?
It was tough. There was thankfully we had access to the club there, but there was really that course and then just like a par 3 kind of course, but it wasn't very good, and that was it.
Yeah.
But we had El Paso across the border.
That's what I was going to ask you.
We would go there and
being at Juarez, could you cross the border to go play in El Paso, and get games in? Okay, so because that's always what people because how old are you now?
25.
Okay, so 25. Yeah. So you were playing golf before we've had some of these border things going on now. So you could get over and back relatively easy. Well, now it's not as easy to get to and from across the border, even at some of those checkpoints.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you have the proper documentation, you can do it. It's not a big deal. With COVID, it did get a little limited.
Definitely.
But, I mean, I even went to middle school in El Paso for a couple of years.
Oh, nice,
really?
nice.
So you're real close to the border.
Yeah, it's right. I mean, they're literally right there. You could throw a rock.
Yeah. Well, no, I've driven through there, like going to college, going back and forth.
Exactly.
But so you got to the United States when you were 12, to Houston, and you went to Memorial Park High School after middle school. Obviously.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Right. So take us through kind of your junior golf journey. HGA, stuff like that.
I think for my experience, it was mostly just very grateful about all the opportunities. And my family was super supportive. So I just kind of, every summer it was like, just 3 tournaments a week, just kind of pile them all in and have something to do. And that's kind of how I even kind of made friends and stuff like that. So in terms of like golf, it was mostly just experience for me and just kind of getting my feet wet. And then thankfully, I'm a very competitive guy. So like I wanted to get better. I wanted to win tournaments, stuff like that. And that, I think at the time they created this little like HGA, Legends Tour, STPGA kind of alliance. Yeah. So that kind of opened up some Legends Tour events and like the Byron Nelson Jr., the Texas Cup and stuff like that.
So big state.
Yeah. The big events.
Statewide junior tournaments. And then I got into those and, that's kind of where I noticed like, okay, there's college coaches here. Like this could work.
Yeah.
Possibilities there. And obviously, first time I played those events, it didn't go so great, and the next year it went better. Just part of kind of what I said, just getting that experience and comfortable and stuff like that. It's kind of what I valued the most at that time. And then obviously with high school golf, there's the 3-4 events a semester kind of thing. It's not as
important for recruiting and stuff either. The state tournament, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever play in the Texas?
I never played state.
Yeah.
No. So our district was just stacked. Yeah. We had all the Katy schools back then.
Yeah. There were some great
Ranch. So we were pretty solid. We had a good team, and then I went as an individual regionals one time, and then as a team we went one time, I think, and then I don't know. I went to regionals 3 times actually.
Yeah. So the most kids, nowadays, well, even your days, my days, but AJGA, everyone has to play AJGA, right? Mm-hmm. But you didn't really play AJGA. I know you played in the Invitational at Carlton Woods. Yeah. How'd you get that exemption?
I think like if you were like the HGA Player of the Year, you get a spot. Or
but and I think this is about the time I was at Rice and trying to recruit you. There. Can you cut that out?
No, it's staying in.
But then you finish like top 15 or something, right? So, Breon, you're not familiar with AJGA. They have open events like the PGA Tour, then they have majors, and that was a major at Carlton Woods. And so you're going up against the top, say, 100 juniors in the country, and you finish top 15, but, you're still not on the radar, right? So, but he could compete with the best in the country, just – it's good to show kids that you can still get to a good Division I school. You don't have to play AJGA, it helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're a good example that not all the best players come out of there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, for me, it was just like, you know, a little, like I said, just grateful to be there and then have that opportunity and then just have fun with it. Like, it's just, you know, it's an awesome golf course, Carlton Woods. Like, you just like fell in love with it, and I really liked it. It's set up for my game. I still love it. And, you know, it was just awesome being there. Free ice cream at the time was huge too. Like, you know, like
how about at the US Open? Did they have all the ice cream bars in the locker room?
You could get whatever you want. Yeah, beers, whatever you wanted. I mean, US Open was
yeah, you got to take advantage of that. I don't know. I heard that USGA might kick you out if you miss the cut, but at a tour event or
you can stay.
Oh, I stayed, and I tried to lose a bunch of weight before I got there, so I got to fit in my lucky because I had to fit in my lucky pants, you know. So, but then I could fit in by the end of the week. It was a wrap. I got a sweet tooth. So.
Okay, so tell us the most difficult course that you have played.
Oof, that's a tough
Where
one.
were your U.S. amateurs at?
I played Oakland Hills. Coach Emil caddied, actually. That was interesting. And then and then
hey, he's always happy and positive.
Exactly. And then Pebble 2018.
Okay.
Yeah. Hardest course. Honestly, I think Torrey was probably the hardest, like in terms of setup.
Yeah.
But the course itself it was pretty fair. I mean, if you set it up easy, it's not that hard, I think.
Yeah, go look on Google Earth.
It's like you can hit it anywhere.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Like, if the rough's not up, it's not super hard. I'd say, let's see. Honestly, Pinehurst green complexes were I've played there.
Okay.
I played the 4-ball there with Mitchell. Those things are no joke. Like, you can be playing ping pong for like 10 minutes.
Donald Ross. They're just
okay.
because I played the North-South Amateur a couple times. It's
So I'd say that it's not too hard tee to green, but I mean the greens, you miss the wrong spots, you're dead.
Okay.
So that's a tough one. Man, it's hard to think of one really.
That's fine.
Too many to go through.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. So if you had to give your game one word, what would it be?
Feel.
Feel. Okay, that's a good word.
Feel player.
Good word. Okay. Feel. And then my last one before, if JJ has any more, and I want to jump into my card for this upcoming week's tournament. So I'm a gambler. So you can give me some advice because this is the day before the tournament comes on. The last question I want to ask was, at the Open, was there a moment when you felt like you made it? Like, was there a moment, even though you said you didn't play as well as you thought, was there like one moment where you're like, you know what, I'm here, I've arrived?
Yeah,
and you could play with those guys too.
But I guess on a personal level, it was obviously it's really cool. You know, you get the courtesy car, you know,
what they give stuff.
You? Lexus for the week.
Nice.
All those perks are nice, but on a personal level, and obviously playing practice round with Brooks, Answer, I played with Will Salvatores one day. Like, all those things are awesome. You feel like, you know, I'm playing with the best.
How far does Zalatoris hit it further than Brooks?
About
the same.
About the same. Yeah.
And do you have any camaraderie with like Answer?
Yeah, that
since both Mexican nationals.
Yeah, like, over sooner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had a great talk. You know, I've never met him. Mitchell plays with him in San Antonio. Like, I think he's played with him like 8-10 times. So I got his number through him, and we set up that practice round, and I thought it'd be cool to meet him.
So like Carlos Ortiz, like, you know, there are guys that are on the tour. So I'm just wondering if y'all have any.
Carlos' brother made it too, right?
Yeah, Alvaro
he sure did. Yeah.
I've known Alvaro for a while now.
Okay.
Is he about your age?
Yeah, we're the same age.
Okay.
So, but I think going back to that kind of you've made it moment, it was really neat on Wednesday morning. It was just I got like a 6:45 tee time for a practice round, and it was just me, my dad, and my caddy walking by ourselves with Torrey Pines, no one around, you know, quiet, and it was just like fog rolling in on number 3, and I was just looked around, and I'm like, man,
you're here.
I'm here. That was like the like, wow, this is pretty awesome, you know, kind of dream moment. Just walking with my dad out there.
So is that kind of the coolest memory you'll remember from?
Yeah, that was the coolest one. I can share. The funniest one was actually on 12. The first day I hit it way right. Like, it's made 2 bogeys. I'm like not feeling it. Hit it way right off the tee, and there was like a I don't know, like a tent for like concessions and stuff. So there was a lot of people around there. So I'm walking up to my ball, and you know, it's first time for me at least. There's like the classic like 30
people around
the ball.
Was there any like drunk 21-year-old?
Oh yeah, that's where I'm getting at. Yeah,
so I have one of those too.
So I get there and it's I think it was like 3, 4 at the time. So people had a few drinks and this guy really loud is like, "All right, man, I bet you 501 odds he doesn't make par from here." And I was like, "Oh man, like that's funny." Like okay, here we go. So I had a terrible lie. Like my odds were actually those were pretty fair odds. Like I was like not looking good. So I chop it out. I have like 30 yards in front of me. I had like 150 out, and I hit it 30 feet, and I make it.
Wow!
So I made some guy $500.
Yeah,
like,
nice.
So that was kind of fun.
You should have turned around and pointed. Like,
I don't want to make this about me, but can I tell?
No, you can.
So I have a picture on my wall of the shot, and I didn't realize it was that shot until like a year later. But I was in the rough and under a tree, and they're like, "Oh man, let's watch this guy." And they're drunk, like young 20-year-olds, probably like 15 of them. And so then I had heard in the trailer Phil chopping down his 5-wood to a 7-iron to chop it, but I had a tree above me, so I was like, "I'm going to chop it. It shouldn't pop." So I chop it, and it goes straight up in the tree and almost hits me and comes back down. And so then they're like, "Oh man, look at this guy. He's just like us." And then they're like, so I'm like, and now's when I made the turn. I was only like one back of the cut line. It was a par 5, so I was trying to make birdie. And so then I take out a 4-iron and I just go as hard as I can. And it like drizzles through and they're like, "This guy's terrible. This is awesome." And I'm like, "Motherfucker."
That's how I was feeling.
I was like, but at the end of the day, and then I made my 8 and moved on, and it was pretty funny after that because I was like, "Those guys, I want to go find them after the round and go play money
beat them up." That's what I would do. So,
you think you can do this?
Now you've got any upcoming events? Any other? Are you playing on any of the other tours? What's your plans over the next couple of years?
Yeah, I don't know. Still kind of figuring it out. With COVID, like I said, it's been hard having a set schedule and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of figuring things out, balancing everything out. So yeah, we'll see. I'm still kind of.
Where are you practicing at mostly?
Right now, I've been getting a few games in at Wildcat, those guys, and then Golf Go to Houston. I can go hit.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice. That's a good spot to practice out of.
Yeah, I've been going to those 2 spots mostly.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've just got my, we've got the Rocket Mortgage Classic this week. Mm-hmm. So I've got a lineup I want to share, but anything before we go into the lineup?
I think just from his experience, he had a lot tougher road to where he's at, than someone like me or the average junior golfer playing AJGA. So what's your best advice for a junior golfer that wants to play college golf? Your best advice on how to prepare for that, how to get there, if that's their goal.
I think for me, most important thing is you got to have fun and love it. You can't just do it for, I don't know, I want a scholarship, I want whatever. Like if you're really committed and you want to do it, go for it. Like there's so many opportunities. Those were the 4 best years, I'd say, of my life. I met friendships for life.
Nice.
I've met great alums from the school I went to. I've, got a good education. And on top of all of that, I got to have fun and play the sport that I love.
Yeah, so imagine the bills on those trips you took.
Yeah, exactly. I miss those. Yeah, I've learned the last few years. I miss those.
You appreciate it a lot more after you finish.
So, you gotta, if you want to do it, you gotta love it and have fun playing golf. I think that's the biggest advice I would give.
I wouldn't do it. Yeah,
because it is a commitment. It was workouts 6 to 7, then breakfast, then class from 8 to 12, then practice 12 till it gets dark, and then I got to do homework for 3 hours, and I'm going to bed at 11 and 12, and kind of doing it every day. So it is a commitment, and it is if you want to kind of find success with it. So I'd say you got to love that kind of grind part of it, but if it's golf, even if you like it, then it's easy. Like it's not hard.
Definitely. I think there's a lot. More upsides to it, but there's definitely, it feels like a job at times, and you can't always do what you want to do like the normal college kids. Imagine Breon getting beat up at the practice squad on the football team.
You never want to do that. Like,
imagine if you're just on the practice squad getting
beat up by. That's not good. That's not good. So I want to jump right into it before we go. So we've got the Rocket Mortgage Classic this week in Detroit. So, should be good weather. They're not dealing with the 115, 20
I got it. Wait, can I stop you?
Yeah.
What is on your hat?
Oh, this is a hat by a brand called Gorin Brothers.
So are you like getting endorsements now? Where's my
This is not an endorsed hat. This is a hat that I bought. Do not listen to this guy. If I had an endorsement, you would have an endorsement. So, but my winner for this week, okay? Mm-hmm. So I went ahead and picked the winner. Y'all mentioned his name earlier. So I'm going with Will Zalatoris.
You think he's going to break through?
Think he's going to break through. I've been watching his last 4 events. He's trending in the right direction.
Breon, you have to remember, I think I've told everybody this story, but I almost beat him in a putting contest.
You got to stop saying
We went 4 extra holes. And if that happened.
I do have to, his putting can be.
I was rooting for him so hard to win the Masters because people would talk about my putting and be like, but I didn't beat him, went 4 extra holes.
He struggled at the U.S. Open, didn't make the cut. But
first time in his professional
That's what
career,
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I think that this is an opportunity for him to bounce back. So he's my winner. But on my card, I've got Lanto Griffin, 3 top 10s this year. He's made 16 of 22 cuts. So I think he's a good person to have. I've got Matt Wolff. Remember, I tried to say that he was coming back. I think I was a week too soon. I think he's a top 10 for me.
He's won there before, right? He beat Bryson and...
He came in second. Bryson beat him.
Yeah, Bryson won. I
thought he drained the one from the French for Eagle and Morikawa was in there.
That was a 3M.
Yeah, this is Rocket. Yeah, this is Rocket. This is Rocket.
Never mind.
And then I've also, just so my flyer is Doug Gim.
Dude, he's good.
And he's been playing good. So I went back. Travelers, he played well. Schwab Challenge, he played well. Valspar, RPC. So he's been playing well.
You know what sucks for a guy like Doug Gim? He is so good, but he is like the least marketable person. So he's going to make like 1/100th of the amount of money Ricky Fowler is at like 140 on the FedEx.
Yeah, definitely.
Poor guy.
So what do you think of that? In your professional experience of those players that I've got?
I think Will can play well. I don't know the course very well. I think with all these picks, I think course is a big.
It is.
Yeah,
and that's what I try to do some research. I need to add grass to my research.
Well, I don't know. Bryson and Phil, they're probably really into it, but I don't think other guys.
From what I remember from watching, Bryson's going to be up there just because he's so far and everywhere, and he's comfortable and he's won there. I don't know if he can go back to back. Yeah. It's always hard to pick like the guys that won last year because it's hard to do. But I like Will. I think Will is in terms of ball striking, probably the best I've ever played with.
Okay.
Him and Joaquin Neiman are the 2 guys I've played with that ball striking standpoint is just like superior.
Were you able to see DJ or Rory hit it on the range?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty impressive. Yeah. Those are the 2 guys I'm always like, there's
nothing
you could teach to do that.
Yeah.
So Will, if he hits the ball well, it comes down to putting with Will. And he kind of showed at the Masters. He missed a couple of putts, but
he had a few that were just, they were almost cringy. Like, man, make those.
But he's an awesome ball striker, and he's a winner. He's won in every level. So I like that pick, honestly.
Like you said,
he's going to win at some point.
He's going to win at some point. He's a really good player. It seems like length is a thing at that course.
Okay.
I think
he hits so hard.
I don't know. I don't really know the field at the top of my head, but Matthew Wolff's a good pick. Played well there in the past. Played well at the U.S. Open. So I like it.
I like it. Good.
I like it.
Hey,
Brian,
can you explain to me? Like, so I remember my student that's like a professional gambler, and he said, "Let me. I'll give you a little secret. Pick Louis Oosthuizen."
And he got close
before the PGA.
Yeah, he got close.
And I've seen Louis on a leaderboard, in a while. I was like, okay, whatever. And then he gets almost wins.
Yeah.
So how do they figure that out? And do you think they take, like you're talking about the grass stuff?
Yeah.
I think Bermuda greens, Poana greens, bent greens, I think that could be factored in. You could research that because that's really going to affect a lot of people. Because like bent grass guys going to Bermuda, they get.
Not to say that, and they may sponsor us someday, but there's a website called the Action Network. It's a golf related like gambling thing. And basically what it does is it gives you stats related to maybe the West Coast swing, maybe to the Florida swing. It gives you all this course data and metrics, and it lets you know like certain guys are a good fit for this tournament. Like they give you, ideas, and then you have to just kind of use your, have they been trending? You're not going to pick a guy who just changed his coach and is going through swing changes, So they give you some suggestions there. But then you really have to be a consumer of golf. Like when you come in here, I'm probably watching golf. Like it doesn't matter.
You have to be a fanatic.
Yeah, you have to be watching what's going on because it's kind of like finance. It's trend lines, it's some data, and then it's a little bit of luck. To be honest, I mean, it's a little luck because
well, yeah, we're humans.
We can't control. I mean, we couldn't control what Mario did at the U.S. Open. No. We can't. But we can say the trend line is he qualified. He was shooting 63s. He may go in there and play well.
So who's the best player you beat out there?
I didn't beat many players.
Hey, I understand that, but there's that one guy that I brag about when he does well. I'm like, I kicked his ass.
I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, I know Justin Rose played pretty bad, and we were around the same.
Oh, that'd be a good
one. You beat Justin Rose.
I think he got me by 1 or 2.
Oh yeah, I was watching the leaderboard, and I was like, he's got a shot tracker. He's got a 10-footer beating. Damn it, he made it.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't really beat many people, but.
No, good deal. Well,
but you still beat them.
You still beat them. That's all that matters. All right, so let people know where they can find you, your social media, all that good stuff, and we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. So my Instagram is Mario Carmona 96, and then Twitter is Mario, and then 2 underlines, and then Carmona.
Okay. Anything you want to leave the people with, JJ?
No, that was a good episode. So
yeah.
Good to have a good player.
That's been the Golf Performance Group podcast, episode 45. If you like what you heard, which we know you did because we're incredible podcasters, you can follow us on Instagram at golf_pod. You can follow us on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. If you just go Golf Performance Group, and then the full YouTube is on the Golf Performance Group YouTube page. So
wait, I just noticed your socks. Can the camera see that?
The camera cannot see my
starting to think
funky socks.
A little differently of you.
The camera cannot see my funky
or
socks.
You grew up in the 80s.
I'm 40 years old. I grew up in the 80s. What are you talking about?
I did too.
So that's been episode 45 of the Golf Performance Group podcast. We're out.